Hello everyone, Ace Farmer Cowboy here, and today I will be covering the July events and I'll be giving some tips for each one of them. So let's get into it. The first one that we have is the Northern Legends of Ragnarok, where you'll have the option to take and defeat different monsters and raids in order to get some really cool gear, mainly from the raids. As you can see, going from the right to the left, that is the tier of the monsters you can face. Hell and Suture are the first two. They can be battled at tier 5, and then Menja, Venja, and Gerd can be available at 7 and 8. And then the Jormungandr can be available at tier 8 by defeating some of the previous bosses. All 5 of them actually help you work towards it. Hell and Suture will give you runes of Moonin, and then Menja, Venja, and Gerd will give you the runes of Hugin. And if I got that swapped up, just reverse that. My apologies for that if it is. And then you have the Arisen versions, which can be battled at tier 10, which is the Arisen, Menja, Venja, and Gerd, and Arisen, Suture, and Hell. Now, the one tip I want to give is that Suture and Hell can be only found at the moments in Kingdom Raids, and then Menja, Venja, and Gerd can be found either in Kingdom Raids or in World Bosses. My tip is that if you're farming the fragments from the Hell and the Suture, to battle the smaller versions rather than the larger versions, because at tier 10 you can also summon the Fey Jormungandr, which drops a better version than the Menja, Venja, Gerd, Suture, and Hell gear that they have. Now, one tip that I have for this is to please wait until the questing event is live, which is down here from the 12th to the 14th, to complete the story quest line for the Ragnarok events. It gives you 5 million XP, or not XP, 5 million Orns. But if you have a questing license, the questing events, and maybe some questing amities, which are available in some Discord servers that I'll be posting in the description down below, you can get even more gold XP and Orns, not just XP or Orns, from completing the quest. So that's my first vital tip for most people. Please put into effect. Right now we still have the XP events. JK, it's the Orns events, which is going up for another 24 hours. So you'll be able to get 25% more orange, so that's fantastic. The next one we have is the Balor Invaders that went live roughly less than an hour ago as of recording this video, where you'll be able to face the Balor forces. Now, the cool thing about this is that there's a new raid, Grey Knight Lugus, right here. And Grey Knight Lugus drops similar items that Malleor. He's Malleor's brother, believe it or not. Now, the one cool thing that he drops that Malleor does not drop is the Lugus Gauntlets, which you can get at tier 7. And it has the chance to give you temporary magic and or temporary attack up 3, which is fantastic if you're carrying or doing raids or just want that little extra kick of power to help you out. And the other monster to look forward to is Dagda, or the Arisen Dagda. Now, what's cool about either one of them is that they drop some really nice gear that can help you out at tier 6. It is actually some of the best tier 6 gear in the game, because this gear gives you ward and it gives you healing effects too, which is also cool that they put on the gear on the website. Let me take a sip of coffee real quick. And it has the arcane elements in it, so this is cool. And it dismantles into Twilight Stone, which is a rare material that not everyone will have bucketfuls of that. And you can get from defeating the Dagda or the Risen Dagda, which can help you God Forge some gear. Now, one other thing will be the Balor King. We have the Risen Balor King that's available, and he can also God Forge as well, being available at tier 10, and he drops this really cool helmet, the Arisen Balor Crown, which has a whopping 13 slots at Godforge. Then it gives you immunity to curse, so stick tuned for that. Moving on, I'll give a little brief information about some of the pets you can get from the Ragnarok events, mainly the wargs. We have the Blood Warg, the Stone Warg, and we have the Arisen Spirit Garm. So I'll go over the two wargs first before I go into the main appetizer, which is the Spirit Garm. So the Arisen Blood Warg is a really cool pet. It does cleave, which is a attack that can hit another target occasionally. And then it also has Inquest, horizontal slash, and quad cut, so it's mainly a physical attack pet. And you can see here the bonded bestial bonds is attack and magic, temporary crit chance, and more temporary crit chance with bonded attack and magic for level 3. One of my favorites is the Arisen Stone Warg, which is one of the best warding slash support pets out there. Not as support as in dispelling or healing or cleansing, but for ward. As you can see, it has a 40% buff rates and an 8% protect chance, which is fantastic. And it does Ward of Anwin, Ward of Light, Transference, and Ward of Ordnite. And it has bonded defense and resistance, chance to give temporary defense and resistance, and then a higher chance to give it for the Bestial Bond level 3. Now we go to Spirit Garm. English is hard sometimes, so bear with me. There we go. We have the Arisen Spirit Garm, which is one of the highest single target pets in the game currently, with its phase spells it's able to do, and it's able to help buff up itself with the Great Meditation, which gives you the magic up level 3. So those are the main 3 pets you can get, and it also has the bonded magic and attack with the temporary magic chance as well. Moving on, we have the Pass of Formoria, House of Summoner. Not Summoner, Summoner. Now these can only be damaged by warrior attacks or physical attacks. So mages, you're going to have to take and bring out your heaviest wand and start swiping them. Now what's cool is that you also do get some cool summons as well. So I'm going to go over the Pass of Formoria stuff right now. So if you type in Summoner on the website, you'll see that you can get the Crest of the Summoner by completing the quest by taking out the other ones. Now the gear that I'm looking after is for the single target gear, which is going to be the Catacona or the Arisen Catacona, depending on your preference. I like the Catacona, the lower one, because it has a higher chance for when your single target spells can target another person. So that's what I like about that one. And it can also drop from the Fool as well. And then the Arisen ones have a higher chance for your multi-target damage to be increased. So those are the main 2 effects that come from the House of Formoria gear. As you can see here, we have different ones. The ones with the shields are the crest ones that you can get whenever you were able to take and get your Crest of Summoner by completing the quest. You can get these different shields here and other gear that drops from them as well, as you can see here. And they can also help you Godforge your gear as well. I believe the tier 4 does as well. So that's one way. If you have a lower level character and you want to help them level up their gear, then that is one way to do that. Next we have the Giant Steps. That will be from the 11th to the 15th. They'll help you work on your aspects. One of the goals I've been working on recently is walking at least 6,000 steps a day to help get my tier 2 part of the Travelers Guild. I went walking this morning, so I was able to get a good portion of that already today, so I might try and aim to go for that 10,000 for today to help me get to the total objective of the 40,000 throughout the week. Next we'll have the XP events. I love the XP events because I get to give XP towards other people by doing some community boosting events that I like to host on Twitch, which will be linked down below. And I'll be live shortly after this video is posted, or whenever this video is loaded. Then we'll have the Mimics Are Loose, another one of my favorite events. You'll have the chance to battle the Mimics And then let me go over that one right here. So this is the raid that can be summoned at tier 9, the Mightiest Mimic raid. You can do all types of nasty debuffs and buffs to itself with the Anthem Lioness. You can do blights, toxic rots, frozen, all that fun stuff, and has access to Realm Strikes, Ultima, and Ultima 2. Now, some cool things that drops are the Vulcan Sprues, which give you the 20% to Orange XP Gold and Luck, which I really adore using those when I run Endless. And then also has a chance to drop the Pinions, in case you're looking for some extra boost to your stats. Some really nice beginner-friendly gear right here. And then as you go further down, you see you can drop the False Band of Gods, which is the baby Band of Gods, similar to how the Bag of Treats is another version of the baby Band of Gods. Now, funny enough, I do have an ornate one of these, and it gives you about 30% to all the bonuses here, which is not half bad. If you don't have a second Band of God, or you haven't completed your quest yet, go work on your quest. What's also cool is that I can drop the Fey Yeti coat, which is an amazing chest they have at tier 9 that even is available into tier 10 to be viable. Then we have the Mightiest Mimic head, which is one of my favorite helmets to wear whenever I am doing Endless to help out other people for my community boosting events, which gives the XP, Orange, Gold, and Luck bonus. Mainly the XP bonus I'm looking for that. Doesn't matter the quality you get for that. And then moving on to the stuff that drops at tier 10, you have the Begal Mystic Guitar, which is a phenomenal offhand that gives you the ability to counterattack 2. So a lot of people don't like that in PvP. I personally am not a fan of it either, even though I have used it a lot against other people. Has a chance to reflect the attack back at them or counter the attack back at them. And it also gives you immunities to burning, frozen, paralyzed, and rots, which is fantastic. It also gives you a chance to give your attack and magic up by 1, and it drops from Begal the Polon and the Mightiest Mimic. Another amazing thing is the Carl's Ring. Now, this isn't your storyline quest Carl's Ring. This is the tier 10 Carl's Ring, which gives some amazing stats. And you can get a higher quality of this one that can potentially give you lots of HP, mana, attack, defense, resistance, dexterity, ward, all that fun stuff. And it gives you immunity to being lulled. So if people are trying to hit you with a mage dance, they're like, no, 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 not today. I will not be lulled. Some other good honorable mentions or important ones are Charon's Grimoire, which is a staple for a beginner summoner doing Endless. Now it can only be dropped from either the Mightiest Mimic or the Shade of Charon, which is a tier 10 monster. And it's a tier 10 drop, so that's why I recommend some people waiting until tier 10 in order to defeat the Mimic if you're looking for some certain items. But if you're tier 9 and you have some wonderful friendly people like me or other people to help you clear out some of them, you can take and do that as well. And then you have the Risen Suture's Cuirass, which is a really nice piece of ward chest gear if you do not have the chance to battle the Fey Jormonger in order to get the other stuff. So I'm going to go over that real quick. So the Fey Jormonger drops one of the best chest pieces in the game, which is the Fey Suture's Cuirass, which has a really high ward scaling. I personally have a 191%, and it gives me roughly about 81% ward when it's filled up to the max with 2% ward gems, which is pretty fantastic. And then some of the other stuff to look out for would be the Fey Menge's War Staff, because it gives view distance and it has a bit of attack and magic, so you can use it as a staff for mages for view distance in the world, and be able to use Sequencer as well if you wanted to use it to help you do a quick blast of magic attacks to people, or have the higher chance to, and it gives you a temporary attack and temporary magic up. Another great thing that I like is the Hell Heist, which is, or the Fey Hell Heist, which is the best view distance weapon in the game, because at Godforge it gives you a whopping 9 slots to be able to take and help you out at view distance, and it has a chance to cause blind too, which is nice. But as you can see here, it does require Solarite's Greater Soul, Mithril, and Platinum, so be on the lookout for those in your favorite guild shops or any other farming methods of your choice. And then you have the summoner books that can help summon the doggos that I showed earlier, which are fantastic. And then another really great item for mages or Beowulfs or deities or anyone that can wear a mage hood is the Fey Menge's hood, which gives you crit rate and magic, which is fantastic. And it has the immunity to magic down 1 and 2 temporarily. So I believe I've covered most of the good stuff that can be during this event. But wait, I forgot about the Splunking event. That is towards the end of the event. It's from the 27th to the 29th. It's similar to the Orange event, which is still live right now, at roughly about 24 hours for that, where you get 25% additional orange for defeating monsters or bosses. But the extra bonus is that you will get an additional cooldown on your dungeon entering, which means you can take and do 1 hour hard boss mode, or 1 hour boss modes actually. So that's it. If you have any questions or want any tips, you can let me know down in the comments on the YouTube video. But thank you everyone for watching. Have a great rest of your days/nights, and I will talk to you all soon. Peace.